This is Spam Jam Podcast by First Line Software.
Hello everyone, this is Spam Jam Podcast powered by First Line Software. My name is Vladimir, I'm a Senior Vice President at First Line Software. And we talk here about different tech stuff, of course including AI. And today with me, Tony McGibbon, our leader of real estate practice, and we'll talk about AI in commercial real estate. Hi Tony.
Hi Vlad, excited.
Likewise, yeah, I suppose it will be fun. Yeah. Let's start with our first topic. Yeah, and our first topic is more about commercial real estate leaders. Yeah, what they do wrong with AI and what others who are more successful are doing good with AI. Yeah, and mainly the first question to you, based on you talk to leaders of commercial real estate companies quite often. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you meet them in different conferences. So your first opinion, what is happening wrong with AI nowadays in this market?
Yeah, it's it's talked about, for years now, 2-3 years, whatever, and people are still figuring out why things aren't working and what they need to do better. And so I don't want to repeat a lot of things that have been said all the time, but I think what people are getting wrong is maybe trying too many things too quickly, but that does turn into some positives because I think there's been a lot of leaders, teams, just full companies that have tried so many things that they've, the amount of failure is leading them to the right choices. But it also opens up the door for the companies that are maybe just starting to get into AI a little more. They've been watching things from the sidelines and they can learn from those failures. So trying too many things at once, we definitely see as a problem and a discussion point that comes up, one that's constantly talked about in our industry, but it's because it's true and it's everywhere, is just not having data prepared the right way to run true, whether they're AI projects or full implementation of different AI initiatives. Everyone's been talking about that, but it's a very hard problem, which is why it's continuously talked about. And people have to figure out, how do we actually get our data orchestrated the right way so we can do this? How do we do it where we don't have to still check our answers? We can actually get to a point where we trust the AI applications that we're using. And then I think the other things are, the one we see a lot is things kind of stall out. So they implement something, but they didn't necessarily have the right people or the team in place to manage whatever that they implemented after maybe 90 days or so. And so we talk a lot about pilots and getting stuck in pilots or running pilots and then moving on from them. And so some of that is they just didn't work. The data wasn't there. The data wasn't good enough. Lots of times you find out, well, we have this in place, but now we don't know what to do.
Okay. So data is crucial in that case, right? So
always. Okay. It's always the topic, but it needs to be the topic because that's, especially in commercial real estate, where there just is a lot of different, there's, people like to say, data in silos, data across different divisions. And this is very true. People hear it all the time, but it's true. And it's a really hard problem to solve. So that's always the starting point. Lots of times we talk to people and they say, I want this new shiny object. And we say, sure, we can get you that new shiny object, but these are all the things that have to happen first for that to actually work. And I think we're far past the point where people don't understand that, even though on a daily basis people still want the shiny object, but they understand what needs to happen to get there. Doesn't mean they know how to do it or how to do it correctly, but they understand what needs to be done. It's just the how isn't always that easy.
Right. But let's say coming back to the, wrong pathway. Yeah. Because I believe that nowadays AI is something close to what used to be with the cloud. Yeah. Okay. Cloud is cool. Let's be cloud. Yep. Yeah. What does it mean? We don't know. We just want to be cloud. Now AI is great stuff. Let's be AI. What does it mean? Oh, it doesn't matter. We just need to be AI company. Yes. Yeah. What based on your experience, what usually does it mean? Which kind of first projects they start to do? It's like a chatbot, or it's something like, what do they start with?
Yeah, the cloud example is a good one because see this really across the board, but at larger companies especially, where someone says, we need to do AI, and they might even say it that way. We need to do something AI. Yeah. And so people say, well, we've got to do something. We were told to. And oftentimes that might trickle down to people that are a little more on the data side or a little more in tune with technology and keeping up on these things. But that's not the reason, to do something just to do it obviously isn't the right answer. But that's their job, to listen to their board or their executives and things like that. And so sometimes it feels a little forced, or sometimes more than a handful of people have even told me, well, I don't think this is going to work, but we've been told we need to do this. And that's actually nice, because in a lot of those instances, I think things could actually work out. They just didn't have maybe the right people or the right kind of initial path in doing that. Hopefully that answered your question. I'm not sure.
Definitely. Yeah. And, we spoke with Nick Puntikov, our CEO, and we were discussing that, when you want to, let's say, when you're going to implement AI properly, you need to think first of all about business goals, how it may affect your business, return of investment, all these things, and then to apply AI to become successful. Not just put AI as a toy, as a nice shiny stuff. Talking about the commercial real estate, based on your experience, what are these, let's say, most beneficial areas where AI will really help companies to grow up, to gain some new achievements, and so on and so forth?
Yeah, there's a lot of answers. There's kind of the quick ones of things that actually work and are maybe relatively easier to implement, which is, again, hopefully I'm not repeating a lot of things that people in real estate hear a lot, but that's more of the back office efficiency type of things. And that's still not easy for a lot of companies, but those are where we talk to people and there might be a list of things they want to do and utilize AI, and list of different divisions. And lots of times part of my job and our team's job is to prioritize for them. So prioritize those lists for them, which often comes of, well, if we get you a quick win or two, then, prove that out, get your team more involved in AI, show that to your leaders and say, hey, we got some quick wins. Maybe we should move on to some of these larger projects. So that's a lot of just that back office efficiency, taking away, we report generation, things like that. You mentioned something, I forget exactly what you said, but in that discussion with Nick and kind of things that he says, it's interesting in commercial real estate or just probably every industry, because people, every day there's new news on AI, there's new tools. It's so hard to keep up with. My job is to keep up with it, interacts with real estate. And some days I feel, take one Friday off and I come back, I'm like, oh, where did everything go when I was gone? I think of one of our clients where we've done a pretty large AI ML project for them that's gone quite well. And because all the data orchestration, all that infrastructure had to be laid out to do that, that was the first project. That's what they came to us to do. That's been in place for a while. And now because of that, for the last few months, they've said, oh, we have this other process. We have this report that we generate 40 a week and people spend an hour on it each time, but you guys have all the data. It's been in place long enough where we can trust the data. We don't have to double check the work. Why don't we just have you guys build something to take out that, it's not going to be the full 40 hours, but maybe bring it down to 4 hours. And then, and so those are the things that I find really interesting, is once you have that infrastructure layer in, and maybe that's because of an initial project that was requested and needed to be done. But after that, businesses start to see like, oh, we do this way, but because we've seen this work, what if we apply AI to it? Oh, we do this other thing this way that we've done it for 20 years, but now that we see how this could work, it becomes much easier. And that's where I'm kind of rambling on, but maybe that's the point of a podcast. But that's where, back to the pilot thing, sometimes people talk about pilots just in all negative terms now. We hear that a lot. We even talk about it internally. There's people are stuck in pilots, or they run a pilot and then never advance from there, or all these things. A lot of that is true. I do think, just based on some examples, or like the one I just gave, that pilots, once you have the infrastructure there, make a ton of sense. Because then they truly are quick test and you know how to measure the results. So I think that part's really interesting, and we're seeing more and more of that.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
Still forgot what the original question is, but
it doesn't matter in our podcast, But let's move forward with all this.
Yeah.
Let's call it AI transformation in commercial real estate. Yeah, and yeah, the definition of there are many definitions of being AI first. Yeah, but the whole idea is, for me, for example, is that you start changing your business processes before you use AI. So you not just put AI on the existing process as another one tool and see how it works, but you really rethink the way how your businesses behave with AI in the middle of it, right?
Yep.
And just curious, your vision on the current level of maturity of commercial real estate market, where companies are in this mindset.
Yeah, I think very few are in that mindset. I think that I think we might be in that transition phase where, as you said, like the tool, let's add an AI tool to solve this problem versus let's assess the whole problem and start from the beginning with the AI first idea to solve the problem. So I think there's been, it kind of ties into the conversation we've been having. There's been, whether it's a pilot or whether it's picking 5 different point solutions that are AI and trying to stitch those together, trying to have them solve 5 different problems separately, those typically, like, that strategy typically isn't working. So I would say, just to answer the question, I think pretty immature on that front, but I think, again, it ties in with there's been enough failures, there's been enough people trying pilots that haven't worked, and there's been enough of, let me just buy this vendor because they said this is going to work, and maybe it did, but they find out it doesn't actually solve a lot of their problems because they want everything to be cohesive.
Yeah.
So I think we're maybe at the start of maybe transitioning into this more AI first and get the infrastructure right before you start tacking on tools and things like that. So
Okay. And who will be faster from your perspective, mid-sized, small companies or large enterprise? Because large enterprise, they have enough money. They can, I don't know, they can have their own AI lab.
Right.
They can invest millions in investigating of all these different AI tools. But from other side, potentially they are a bit slow.
Yeah.
And small companies, they potentially don't have enough power, let's say, to really invest in AI. At the same time, they're pretty much agile potentially. So what's your vision on that?
Yeah, it's hard to say one above the other. It's a mix. I think it comes down to, it's a lot of revolves around people. So the big companies, a lot of them in real estate, they do have, definitely some tech people, some data people, sometimes full teams around there, depending on the size of the company. Some of the mid-sized firms, even even pretty large firms, they might not have, they may have a data scientist or they may have an IT manager, but not much else. And so that's where it comes down to, are they going to go hire some people to help them push these things forward and move quickly? Are they going to, outsource that, do it through vendors, whatever it may be? Some of those things can happen pretty quick. I guess I don't know how to answer. It's almost a case by case thing.
Okay.
It's hard for me to just think through all the discussions I have and say, well, the big companies can move quick, because sometimes they can and sometimes they slow themselves down, just like probably every industry. Sometimes the medium ones are really in a position to move quick, but they, sometimes they're just a little worried too. I think they get right up to the starting line of like, hey, we're going to do this, and then new news comes out about something, some new vendor reaches out, like back to that pace of innovation and AI. So I see that a lot. People, I don't know, what's that term? Analysis paralysis. There's just too many options. There's too much to think about, and they get stuck not making any decision, which can slow them down, obviously.
And how to manage it? I mean, for, let's say, real estate company for which AI, it's not the core, at the moment at least, how to really understand what to do in this like super red ocean of different tools, platforms, and everything what's happening.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how much on a podcast we're supposed to talk about ourselves or plug ourselves, but the true answer is that like the medium-sized companies that look to like technology partners, not just vendors, are the ones we've seen them move the quickest. Obviously, we see that up close because we're working with them. And that I think is exciting, where they have, whether it's 1, 2, 3 true technology leaders at the company, but they don't have, the team to build things out, and they don't want to have that team. That's kind of our that's kind of our sweet spot, right? Of
Right.
just talking about what we do. But those are the ones that have moved quick because they have the people, they know what they want to do, they know how they want to do it, and then they quickly go, instead of trying to hire out the perfect person and all these things that take time, it's very competitive. They partner up with a different technology firm and then build those things out. Those are the ones we've seen move the quickest.
Right. Coming back to your topic about the data, my vision was always that if you're talking about real estate and commercial real estate, they should have a lot of data already prepared pretty much and structured. So for them, it should be pretty easy to put on top AI, right? So, but what I hear from you and what I've heard from the market that it's not entirely true because data is there, but it's, I don't know, data silos, it's unstructured. What's your take on that? Yeah.
I think if there are a bunch of real estate people in here that said it's easy to and it's organized, they just laugh at you when you said that. I was just like, no,
Okay.
it is, you would think that, but it's just tricky. And it's sometimes it's a matter of what data, there might be a company, company that owns a large portfolio of real estate and that's been around for 100 years. And sometimes it's a question of where is it? A lot of times it's in Excel spreadsheets. So a lot of times it's in PDF reports that have been scanned 6 different times and made it to, and then just put in a folder. So the data is all there somewhere, but getting the right data and getting it all together, just it's not as you would think it's easy. People have been trying to do it, for a while. They're going to do it. All these companies are going to figure it out. I don't want to speak like it's never going to happen, but it's a headache for them because they weren't, 5 years ago, they were just said, put all that in that folder. When we need to reference that property, we'll pull that up. And now it's like, oh, we want everything together. We want all the comps to go across the portfolio. And so it's a big effort up front for most of the companies. But if they get that part right and just go through the heavy lift, that's a headache that we'll talk about of like, oh yeah, I remember when AI was new and we all had to go figure out our data storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your vision for this market, is AI now for companies on this market already a serious stuff or it's still like a toy?
No, I think it's serious. I think anyone that says that, real estate is in the past or maybe still currently been outside of the industry, people say, oh, they're late to technology, they're slow, things like that. Maybe some of that's true. Probably a lot of it's not. I think with AI, absolutely not. Yeah, people are very engaged, and everyone, I think, at this point knows that it has to be part of their business. Most of them are trying to figure out what that really means and how they're going to do that. But I think we're well past just the ChatGPT and this is a toy phase, but we're definitely not at, hey, this is powering our business and truly making things easier.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So, short blitz round.
Blitz
Okay,
round.
ready? Yeah, just a couple of stupid questions. You can bring some couple of stupid answers, so
Perfect.
it's okay. So, first of all, most overhyped AI tool in real estate right now?
I think there's there's like co-pilots that kind of live in between a true embedded co-pilot and a chat GPT. And I think those miss the mark. I don't know what to call those, a hybrid co-pilot, something, a one click or like a wrapper. I don't know. I've talked to enough people where, no, this is not a blitz answer. All right. Half-baked co-pilots.
Okay.
Going with it.
Good one. What's scarier, bad data or bad leadership?
The combo.
Bad data with bad leadership. It's
Yes.
Okay. If AI were a tenant, where would you put it?
Tenant.
Office, retail, or multifamily?
Office sounds good. I go office because it is, a lot of what, this is less of a joking answer, but right now what it's helping people is with all those back office, efficiencies, things like that. So let's go office.
Okay. And the final one word that describes real estate relationship with AI nowadays.
All right, I'm gonna steal this from our colleague Koi,
Okay.
but intern. I do like that. Like
Intern.
it's motivated, it's hardworking, but it needs education and it needs guidance.
Okay. Sounds cool. Thank you, Tony, for
Yeah.
being with me here. It was nice talking to you. And thank you very much for listening Spam Jam, powered by First Line Software. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments. And if you like it, follow us and send it to your friends. Thank you. Stay
Thank you.
tuned. Bye.
This is Spam Jam Podcast by First Line Software.